Hi, hello, good evening. It's High Priestess Jamila. I'm sitting outside. It feels so good out here, but I'm seeing lightning in the distance, so it's getting ready to rain. And usually does around October in Missouri. So I'm about to go back in a second, but I wanted to come and talk real quick. This is just like a little vlog that I wanted to do. So earlier today, I ended up having a dental emergency. Actually, there was a tooth that my dentist that I had went to before had warned me and told me that it was gonna have to go. You know what I'm saying? That it was a problem with it, and it finally went home to glory. And the tooth fairy went ahead and got it today. So I was actually at the dentist today. Um, Getting a tooth extracted. And hey, Stefan. And so I feel much better. Oh my goodness. I feel so much better. I was in so much pain um when I got up this morning, and I barely got like 2 hours of sleep last night, and then it was like the past couple of days I have not been getting really restful sleep. So I feel really good. Thank you, Stefan. Happy Friday to you too. But I have been expressing my frustration because my here's my whole thing about it that I wanted to talk about real quick. And I actually do have a pretty decent following. The past few years, there has been a lot done to isolate me, to isolate my channels, because of course people wanted to keep everything on the hush. When people are doing something that they know that they have no business doing to you, um, they don't want too many people to know. They don't, especially when you're dealing with abuse, when you're dealing with an abusive situation that I was dealing with. I don't consider myself dealing with it anymore, but when I went live to talk about liminal spaces, um, I just it came flooding out, my frustration. So I ended up putting that particular thing off, and I might just, like I said, just record a video and put it up, discuss liminal spaces, right? Because that and a few other things spiritually is what has been the focus. Okay. I've never heard of water burger. What is that, Stefan? Anyway, so you know, I'm I what I've noticed is people is what I've noticed about narcissistic people is that when you have asserted to a narcissist that you don't want anything to do with them, right? What I have noticed is will uh, they will purposely try to say things that are really they say things inaccurate just to keep the conversation going with you. They do. I've noticed that. I've noticed that. I've noticed that it's a never ending thing, and it's been a never ending loop. And I listen. when it comes to something like that, people are not defined by that. I don't consider myself to be defined by people in social media that don't want to just go and leave me be. Right? That doesn't define my life. However, when it comes to my social media, I don't like the fact that there's an assumption that just because I don't have like this huge um obvious group. How when people have subscribers and the subscribers are all speaking the same thing, that doesn't mean that just because I have not had that, which would be tons and tons of people in the chat room, tons and tons of people in the comment section agreeing with what I'm saying. That doesn't mean that what I'm saying is not truth. That doesn't mean that what I'm saying is not validated. My channel, which was wrong for these people to do what they did. My channel was put in a place where I essentially, supposedly, had no voice, where it was almost like they were trying to create an alternative reality that doesn't actually exist. You know what I mean? Like, it was really weird. Yeah, Stefan, get rid of that person. Yeah, that's a. Can you get rid of that clown, please? Get rid of that clown. People are weird. I'm getting some of this chicken. Them people are weird, and they know that they have very disturbing, weird. They're just weird. Like, those people are very, very weird. Goodness gracious, and they don't know how to just go, but yet they claim they have these amazing lives. That I don't believe it. That's bull crap. Your life sucks, and I don't like those people's energy. I don't. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Here, I'll do it. Hold on, because I got something on my hands. Yeah, you gotta go. You're weird. Do not like those. I do not like goofy clowns. I don't. All that clowning and stuff. Yeah, nah. Mm-mm. So I don't. God speaks for me very loudly. I don't need. Ooh, what this is. I don't need an audience to speak for me on YouTube. You know. So yesterday I expressed my frustrations early. I think it was either yesterday or early this morning on my other channel about how this same person, literally just will not um, go away. And you know what? I've asked God to just get rid of this person. I have asked God. I have asked my spirits. I have asked my ancestors to get these people out of just go. Nobody wants to constantly be reminded of a negative situation. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to be bothered with those people, because there are some people in this world that are very, very warped. Okay. Warped and weird. And they do things that while those things that they do is normal to them, it's not normal. It isn't. It's not normal, and and the energy is not normal. It isn't. Okay. It's no, no. So I was expressing frustration, and yesterday while I was at the dentist, I just so happened to check my messages, and this person leaves this comment saying that I'm trying to get the person's attention. And this is the loop that these people, not me, but this is the loop that they've been in for. How do you stay in a loop like that? How do you, like, and I honestly believe that those people really either, that's the thing that's perplexing about people that are narcissistic or sociopathic. Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that, or are you basing that upon your own situation? Because I don't covet um 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 uh, in case y'all didn't realize, I am the type of person to where if it's something that is traumatic, I don't covet that situation or hold on to it. In fact, there's things that have happened in my life, in my real life, which was not that traumatic. Like, you don't hear me talking about it. It's not a basis. It's not the foundation for my social media, right? I don't have trauma at the as a foundation, right? Trauma is not my foundation. You know what I mean? And there's some people that they do make trauma the foundation of their platforms. They do. They make trauma. Trauma is what they base their entire existence in social media on. There are some people that just do that. I don't. Yeah, people go through trauma in life. People go through hard times in life. People go through things. But for me, it's a different, you know, I don't just stay in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people that love pain and suffering. There's some people that love arguments. There's some people that just love difficulty. They just love it. They just love struggle. They love to struggle, just struggle 24/7, just all the time. Just it's just it's always hard. It ain't never easy. See, I don't do stuff like that. And I wasn't raised that way either. I wasn't, In fact, do y'all know that since I've been back home, I have not once discussed my experiences really with any of my family? Like, my sons are aware, especially my eldest son is very aware. He knows everything about what we were dealing with. But do you know that my family it's kind of like they don't really know, and they don't even have to. Nobody even wants to talk about it. You know why? Because we don't want to dwell on it. Because you know what? When you are the type of person that likes to set the tone for your own experiences in life, right? Like this is the experience that I want to have. This is what it is. And and you have people in social media, and that's another thing that's weird. That's another thing that's weird. It really is, And for some reason, I don't get it, because I don't think that way. But it's like these people on here, they want to claim that just because you speak about something that bothers you, like they literally want to say that just because you spoke on it or just because you talked about it, that meant that you liked it. What? No, excuse me. So because I spoke about it, so because I have, so because I acknowledged it, because I asked you to leave me alone, because I've asked you to go away, because I've told you I don't want any part of what you're doing, because I said that to you, that that means the opposite. Like, it's really bizarre. So uh and I just it's just it's weird to me. It really is weird to me. It's very weird. It's very disturbing. Nobody wants to sit up here and see that every time they come to their social media. Nobody wants that. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let God do what God do. I'm gonna let God do it. Let's just put it like that. I'm gonna let God do it. I have to always remind myself of that. I do. I'm gonna let God do it because it's been a loop for these people, not for me. The only people that have really been in that loop are the people that have been in constant denial. No, Jamila wants nothing to do with you. Jamila wants nothing to do with you, your group, what you do. I'm not about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about getting some kind of merit or pointers within your situation. I don't care. You see what I'm saying? But they're gonna say, oh, well, you just want something to do with this, and you wanted one of these males to validate you, and you wanted to be queen of what I have no idea. Well, you know what? When you already have your own crown, you don't need to go somewhere and try to work to become queen of nothing that they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so bizarre. Like I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna delete that person's comment because I'm tired of people like I don't want to. Why do you, okay? When I say I don't want to communicate with you, I don't want anything to do with you, and then you come and leave a comment telling me basically that I do. And excuse me. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Hello, no. Listen, the same thing applies. I told you who I am. Believe me, trust me. I don't want anything to do with that. That's just like when I get off of here speaking about this. I'm probably gonna watch Pet Cemetery. To be honest with you, it just popped up on the screen. It's one of my movies that I bought. I don't think about you people in that way. That they can't accept it. It's weird. Delusional, or either it's just their gaslighting. I have no idea. I don't care. Hold on, y'all. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. And there's it literally all of the sense and sensibility goes out the door. I truly believe that these people, the reason why they still don't know and don't accept the truth, I feel like the reason why is because they're hearing voices in their head. Personally, that's what I think. And they're trying to purposely be confused about the fact that I had linked up personally with one of them that's in their weird group. It's very weirdness. I think that they got confused about that. I've how many times have I said it? I've said it like 10 times. He lied to me. He made it seem like he was not a nutcase. He did. He tried to make it look like he was not a nutcase, like the whole time. Like he tried to make it seem like he did not like any of the stupid stuff that those people do. It was almost like he was trying to pretend to be somebody else. Come to find out, he's literally the brains behind the whole operation. Like he's literally in it to win it. Like it meant something to him. Like it meant everything to him. Like it meant so much to him that he committed crimes right out in front of everybody. Like he was literally willing to throw me under the bus and throw himself under the bus. No, not me. He was willing to throw himself under the bus for those people, for the love and the acceptance of those people. He was literally willing to do that. And it ain't about black people. I don't even want to hear it. They black card been gone. They ain't got no black card. I don't even know what a black card is, but they don't have one. No, it's for ignorance. It's for evil. He was literally willing to kill himself for evil. Literally. Anytime you are committing crimes that you can be arrested for. Literally, this dude has like literally. So why would you do that? Like that makes no sense, but whatever. The point is that I don't know what is going on with these people or whatever, but I don't want to hear from any of y'all. Like, and we're gonna make it happen. I am going to my I am taking back my life as if you people never existed. And I mean that shit. I mean that shit. You think I'm playing? Oh, mm. I can only chew on one side of my mouth right now still. Yeah, you like now. I have a life. I had a life before. Nobody in social media, I believe, would for me, social media is like an extension of life. It's like it's a way for me to have advertising for my business that I do, doing readings for people and spiritual work. It's not a place where I came to meet people so that I could latch on to a bunch of to a bunch of negativity. Okay, that wasn't the goal. That was not ever my goal, and it still isn't. So, like I said, if you want to be delusional all you want, these people want to be delusional about it, right? The few people that I have over here know the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because they act like because they was able to blacklist my channel, you know what I'm saying, causing me to struggle with, people in social media that meant anything. But it doesn't matter if it's two people, if it's one person, if it's five people saying the same thing. That truth trumps your lies of your and they really don't have that many people in their group, but it's just the point, you know. I'm trying to act as if what I'm saying is not the truth just because I don't have a bunch of voices speaking for me. Well, you know what? I shouldn't even have to. It's like a serious obvious, and you can't, like, that's just like the situation with that horrible rumor that they spread it about me, right? I am going to speak the truth. You're not going to stop me. You're not going to make one person believe any of your damn lies no more. They can go along with it, but they're not going to believe it. I'm not going to sit up here and let you just rest on a lie about me like that. Are you crazy? So, but and people that's just like trying to silence somebody's voice, trying to make it about something else. And you already know I don't want nothing to do with you. You already know that. You already know that. So it's just weird. And I will always continue to maintain the same opinion. It's never going to change. I'm going to always have a low opinion of those people. Why do you care? Why do you care about my low opinion? I don't have to speak about it all the time at all. But so why not just let it go? And literally, I could literally go my entire life, the rest of my life, without thinking or talking about any of these people. I could literally. But he's still stalking me. The stalker is still stalking me. I'm not stupid. I can sense your energy. You're definitely stalking. Constantly trying to bombard somebody with your energy. You know what I'm saying? And trying to push people off of social media. Just absolutely horrible. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if they're gonna go into 2026 with that malarkey. I don't. Just is weird. So yeah, I feel a lot better since I got that tooth pulled though. When I went to sleep, as soon as I got back home, I went to sleep. Well, I ate like this. I ate something before I went to sleep though, something that I had been wanting that day. And now I'm eating some barbecue chicken. Um, I had like this Danish, like it was a raspberry, but then it was also a cheese Danish. And I had warmed it up and melted some butter on top of it and ate it with some vanilla ice cream. And I had went to sleep earlier. It was delicious too. It was soft too. My mouth is not numb anymore. So that's good. Cause when they pull a tooth out, they have to numb you up really good. So, I had like several shots in my tooth and gums and all that area, you know. But it went pretty smoothly too. So I don't know. It's just mm, my whole thing is that whatever I do, I own it. I don't need for specific or particular people. I mean, it's so weird. I think it's a fantasy though. I think people that are doing things that another person would like, they're like, huh. Well, this is a perfect example, y'all. Y'all know how people that have differences in spiritual beliefs, right, or religious beliefs, and you know how they always say, oh, well, you need to quit doing that and you need to, am I going to turn around and say, you're just saying that because you want to be like me? It's like, no, like, no. Like, it's almost like it's so weird. Those people are just different. They have a different perspective. They have that they know different and they've accepted different. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say, oh, well, you just want my attention or something. I don't know. I guess that's a bad analogy. Mm, the hell? Hmm. So it's very strange and weird. It really is, and I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna say something to people that are like that. Nobody, it's, you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's very, they are, this is the perfect way to describe them. Mentally draining. Mentally draining. Nobody has to sit up here every day. You're not gonna make we about to cut that, knock that out the box right now. Every single day I have to focus on ignoring you. I shouldn't have to focus on ignoring you. That's what I'm saying. Like, you should just not be here. I was gonna write a response. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see if I can find that response. Nobody should have to be mentally drained every single day to where they feel like they have to have this challenge every single day, to the point where when they open up their social media, they have to feel like they have to be purposely ignoring you. It's almost like the trolls are like, hey, check me out. I'm going to be a harasser, even though I know who you are personally. I'm going to harass a person, but I'm going to every single day present this challenge to them to where they have to ignore me. Well, first of all, you don't have no authority over a person's life to where you get to just determine that every single day they have to be challenged by you to ignore you. Or this is another thing that the stalkers do. They come in your chat room and they pretend to be not who they are, and you know it's the same person, but they pretend to be somebody else, and you're faced constantly with the challenge of figuring out who they are. I'm not going through all that. They're very mentally draining. Who lives like that? Because all day, every day, I'm supposed to, anytime I open up my social media or put up my content, I'm supposed to play this guessing game every single day. Mm, sorry, I'm chewing this chicken. Mm, mm, mm. That's why I was saying, y'all, like, nobody has to go through that. Like, every single day, they want to try. And you know what? That's how parasites get to you. That's one of the ways that they play their little game with you, is by trying to be mentally draining. You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all. So all I know is that is that I can go the rest of my life without interacting with these people. And yes, I have everybody has the right. You can't tell somebody how to deal with that. You can't tell me how to deal with it. I personally feel like none of those people, even the one that tried to I don't know what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to turn me into a prostitute or ruin my head or something, ruin me, weird. But I just know that at this point, for all of these people, it's just like I did not ever know you, because I don't actually know you. A parasocial connection with somebody is not a real social connection with somebody, especially when that somebody is lying, especially when somebody is in on like some weird plot against a person. You never existed to me. I have the right to do that, and it's not about that's not a person being emotional. That's not a person being hurt. That's just a person saying, the let's go ahead and switch gears. Let's close that chapter, and then not even like let's close that chapter and just destroy it like it never existed. Everybody has the right to do that. And I'm going to tell you something, that is the space of God, whether or not they want to admit it or not, whether or not they want to accept it. That's what God wants me to do with that situation. God wants me that, and that's one of the reasons why when I got back home, it wasn't a whole bunch of, family meetings about it and people acknowledging it. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And it was almost like, what is that? And then I realized, I said, yeah, what is that? It's not real. Whatever it is not real. It's not a part of any type of reality. So why even acknowledge it? Like, I could sit up here and sit down with my whole family, and I could sit and tell them about all of the crap that was happening. I don't have to, though. My family is going to be supportive of me regardless. Like, that's what they're doing. They are supporting me. So I don't need to sit down and talk to my family about people that really don't even exist anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody. And then it's the holidays. It's like people don't want to put up with that crap. I don't even want to put up with that crap. I don't want to sit down and be like, yeah, and he did this and he did that. No, I don't even want to do that. I don't I it, it's water under the bridge. Why should somebody sit around and dwell on somebody that obviously purposely wanted to traumatize a person? Like, you literally, like, this person literally did as much as possible to try to traumatize me. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to sit up here and fall for that and just be like stuck in that energy, like whatever. Like, I knew it when you was doing it, which is why, and I didn't let you bother. I didn't let it bother me. The people that were witnessing him, the people that shouldn't have been witnessing him, do live streams and talk all crazy and do all that crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for those people. Like, why do you subject yourself to that? He was disturbing other people more than me. I'm keeping it moving. I don't care about what you buy, what you, because I didn't ask for what you experiencing it. Literally, I'm gonna tell you something. It was like a broken record that kept happening over and over again. Literally, like I actually used to describe a lot of what they did as a broken record. It was like the same thing. If you notice, they go in a loop every day. It's like a loop to loop of the same thing. They say the same thing, no matter what it is that they're talking about. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Literally. Like, this is one thing that I know about those people. And so it's just kind of like, I'm not going to sit up here and just go through the same thing over and over again. You done said the same thing over and over again, the same exact thing, maybe with a little twist, maybe with a little, maybe they say it different, but the bottom line is that you've literally done and said the same thing over and over again with no growth, no nothing. Why should I have to sit up there and just go through that with you over again? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't. So it's like a non-factor. I gotta go down. I'm drinking iced tea right now though, and it feels good to be able to drink some iced tea and not be in pain. It's gonna feel real good tomorrow. I'm not gonna drink no iced coffee tonight. Well, you know what? I might. Cause y'all know coffee has an analgesic effect on me. Like it'll actually make me sleep sometimes. But so I think I am. What time is it? It is 12. I will have witching hour coffee, y'all. I will have coffee after midnight. But it's gonna feel good to like because well, you know what? I ain't been in pain this whole time, y'all, but like the past week or so, that tooth was like ing, ging, 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 ging. It was like geek, geek, geek. It's been, what do they call it? Geeking. It's been geeking. It's been ready to come up out of my mouth. Okay. So, I honestly, I do believe that the tooth fairy was ready to go ahead and take that tooth. I want to ask them though. I'm be like, how many more of my teeth are y'all gonna take? Can we not take any more of my teeth? You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. You know? Yeah. So, but oh yeah, one other thing that I thought about. I'm not going to have that like all of that I experienced and then laugh at it. First of all, now, like I don't know what's going on with that. Like I don't have to laugh about it. I don't have to cry about it. I don't have to be ashamed of it. I don't have to feel anything. It's literally as if it never existed, and there is nothing wrong with that. And I believe that that is how you beat the narcissist. I do, especially when you don't want nothing to do with their asses. Let me tell y'all something straight up and down. All that goofy stuff, that narcissistic people, all that theatrical crap that they create, once you're away from them, just hit them up with that. Like, hey, that don't even exist to me. It's not bothering me. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they must feel guilt. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't need to feel bad about anything, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna laugh about it. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna sit down with any of these people and like have coffee or something. No, I'm not. But I just don't want to, because literally I judge things by energy. I can tell like their energy is something different, and they're all in that energy, and I'm gonna tell you why they're all in that energy. All of those people that are still doing what they're doing with that weirdness, they are in that energy because it's almost like a collective consciousness that they have. I've never been in their collective consciousness. And see, I'm not the type of person that goes along with the crowd. People know that about me. I've actually spoken about it, and to them that doesn't matter. To the people that like me and love me, it matters to them because they know what I'm talking about. To those people, they have to have like this collective of people, and they're all like in the same thing. It, to me, it's backwards and warped. It's very negative. For me, I never was the type of person to go towards a negative situation. Even when I was in school, like they would be fighting and I would walk away from the violence. I would walk away from the violence and the fighting. I would go and get on the school bus and wait, right? Luckily, growing up, there was no fights on the school bus, luckily, because that would have been like hell. I don't like violence. It's not my energy. Like it's kind of difficult to explain to people though, kind of like that. Hold on real quick. Son, Okay, anyway. So like I'm not the type of person that walks towards things that to me are dangerous. Like if I saw a danger sign, I'm gonna actually look at the sign and I'm gonna go, oh, let me back away, let me go to safety, So I'm not into that. I am not into that. And I'm not into drama. I really ain't. I think people that equated me caring about my social media and me caring about the way the me caring about my reputation equaled me caring about drama, and I don't. I'm not gonna argue with nobody about it either. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, that's pretty much it, y'all. That's where I've been today. I got my tooth pulled today, and I'm not in any pain anymore. And I've been irritated yesterday. I wouldn't have even made any comment. That's what I was gonna tell y'all. I wouldn't have made any videos about that dude. Like when I'm irritated with it. I'm very, very irritated with those people. I really, really, really just want those people to accept like them. Okay, they're not doing the black thing. Don't function that way. I don't like their energy. They've been knowing that for a long time. But I didn't even really have to say anything, to be honest with you. I just think that yesterday my resistance was totally broken down because I don't have nothing to say to that dude. I don't. But you're still around. I can tell that you're still around. I can sense your energy and I don't like it and I just want you to leave me alone. In fact, do y'all know that hold on y'all. Do y'all know that when y'all are hanging around somebody's social media, that whether or not I don't consider him to be my ex, I don't, he's not my ex. Okay. Oh, it's sprinkling out here now. He's not my ex. Okay. But like, do y'all know that when y'all are when people are doing that, when stalkers are doing that, do you know that that person has an intuition that you are doing that? You know what I'm saying? And then also, if you are a man that literally destroyed a woman's income, threw her income off to the point where you were causing financial loss, and you got in and you kind of got her behind on her bills because you were attacking her at work. Men that make a woman lose a job, right? They sometimes they do that when they're stalking you. The ignorant ones, they will make you lose your job. That I've actually gotten fired from jobs or either demoted because of my exes. I've actually had that happen to me before. Do you know that yeah, you can't claim that you were a savior after that. You can't just sit up here and rest on that like you created that situation to begin with. And you're toxic. I cannot stand that. And that's what narcissistic people do. They break you down to the point where you can't really support yourself. I've always been able to support myself financially. I've always been able to get very good jobs. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say very good jobs, but I've always been able to get decent jobs. Okay. I've always been able to be successful at everything that I did, and YouTube is no different. YouTube is no different. My channel is constantly being false flagged. This dude and this group of people are constantly over here hating on my success every single day. They've been doing it for years, especially since 2020. So just because you were able to technologically flag my channel does not mean that I don't know who I am. I have never lost sight of who I am, which is somebody that is very dynamic. I give myself a pat on the back. And you can't ever take me away from me in social media. Like, why would you even want to do that? Why would you even target somebody in that way? And why are you still hanging around with it? And I personally think that they want to control somebody. That's what it's about. And it's like, but you can't control me. That's something that these people lied to themselves. And I think that that's one of the reasons why they are attracted to witchcraft. I think that that's one of the reasons why. But witchcraft is not what you think it is. Like I said, men and then narcissistic women can really have like a totally different relationship when it comes to witchcraft. Now, I'm not saying that there's no wicked area of witchcraft. Like, we can do some things that some people would deem as being wicked and some people would deem as being necessary. You know what I'm saying? However, when it comes to people like that, they want to try to, oh shit. Okay, it's time for me to go in. It's They want to try to utilize witchcraft. Y'all hear that? Yes. But I'm going in. Yes. They want to try to utilize witchcraft as some way of dominating and controlling people. Right? That's what they want to do. That's what they're attracted to. They're attracted to the aspect of it where they want to try to dominate and control people. Or if a person doesn't love them, oh, I'm going to force you to love me. Or if a person doesn't respect what they do, oh, I'm going to force you to respect what I do. I'm going to force you to accept my warped belief system. Huh? For example, a male being very disrespectful to a woman to get her attention. Obviously, normal women, I'm normal, you do that to me, and I'm actually going to spit in your face. I'm not, not literally, but I'm actually going to ignore you. I'm actually going to not like you. You can't just sit up there and be this type of person that is a complete turnoff, but you're going to use witchcraft to warp the situation and make trauma. They're going to make trauma bonding something that is a norm, and they're going to use witchcraft to do it. And you're going to do this by doing this to one person. So for that one person, you want to try to prove that trauma bonding and being a narcissist is something that's normal, that should be accepted, and it's not. So there's no woman in this world that actually is going to be accepting of a man being disrespectful, demeaning, talking crazy to a woman. That's not what most women want or have to accept, but they're trying to force this upon people. I've heard them say it. You can't be out here being nice to these women, da 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 da. And it's like, basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to force yourself into a person's life. And when you're forcing it too much to the point, and that's why I don't agree with, everybody shouldn't have I honestly believe that you should have to have a license to practice witchcraft. You should not just be able to do it. Like, it can be very dangerous because that that I and still after 10 years I still do not accept that any kind of warped point of view. And then when I was talking to you guys about BDSM, okay, when I was talking to y'all about that, see, BDSM is not just about like a person. Typically people that accept and like BDSM, they like rough sex. They like, for a person to, you know what I'm saying? And I personally don't like it. For me, I don't like it. If we play, if I play around with it a little bit, but when it comes to I wouldn't even play around. I wouldn't play around with it even a little bit. Like, for me, it would be triggering because I've dealt with people that go over the top and overboard with it. So for me, it's not worth it. It's a game that I just don't want to play. Um, BDSM is not just a game though. Like it's literally where, because I've seen BDSM relationships to where either the man or the woman has that person in a sense to where they just utterly have no fucking voice. They have no choice. They have no choice in the matter. They are just supposed to do what they're told. And that is the actual real dynamic of the relationship between those two people. I would never accept that. I feel like a man and a woman, they are together in things. The woman's input is just as important as the man's. And if it's meant to be, one person is not forcing the other person to accept what they don't want to accept, or what's not good for them, or what they don't agree with, or you know what I'm saying. So I'm just no, no, you know what I'm saying. And I stand behind that, you know what I'm saying, 100% all the time. And you can't just, these people that are into that, it's like, well, and I want you to do what I tell you to do, and if you don't, I'm gonna try to affect your income. What? Yeah, I'm going to try to affect your income so that you won't have a choice. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When I almost died, that's why I always eat, y'all. Like, I've been eating damn good, let me tell you. That's why I always make sure that I, because I've always ate really good. Like I've never had like nutritional concerns. Like I've always ate good. Like when I went through that when I was in Georgia, when I went through like barely eating, you know what I'm saying? And like it's something inside of me snapped, and it didn't break me, it made me stronger. It did. It made me stronger. So, and it was obvious that this person was literally so psychotic that they were trying to control what I put in my mouth. They were trying to control what I ate. They were trying to control whether or not I felt comfortable in life. They were literally trying to control that. Like, and this was going on for the longest, and I had nobody else at the time. I had to go through that alone, except for my oldest son, to like help me through that. But it was really just me and God helping me through that, because it was disgusting. It was, and we've all seen and heard like stories of narcissistic people and what they do. Like there was this one article that I saw where this narcissistic man, he left and went out on a business trip and took everything out of the refrigerator and did not leave his wife and kids any food money, but yet she was depending on that man to feed her, right? She was literally financially dependent on her husband. And narcissistic people are so nutty that this is literally what her husband did to her. This is one of the reasons why I would not be able, if I wouldn't depend on no narcissist. Like if you are in a situation to where someone else is the breadwinner, they can't be a narcissist, because a narcissist will kill you. They will kill you. Narcissistic people will have you like like they'll have your nervous system all messed up. They'll have you like all stressed out. You know what I'm saying? And they will drive you into an early grave. They will. This which is why I don't deal with them people. If you are a narcissistic person, you're a narcissist, you're not going to be able to use no witchcraft to force yourself into my life. Me and you going to be in a battle with God. It ain't going to be me and you. It's going to be you up against God. And I can guarantee you that you're going to always lose that battle with God. Because I'm not a narcissistic person, nor am I a masochist, nor am I the type of person that's going to accept that. I'm not. And it's because I stand on very strong principles of peace and happiness and joy in life, you know what I'm saying? Which for me, that's God. That's the relationship that I have with God. That's what God wants for me. Whatever else is happening outside of that is false, because I don't bring that energy to people. Anybody whose life that I'm in, like, you ain't never ever heard of me, right? You know how narcissistic people do. This is what narcissistic people do. They make friends with somebody, they make fake friends with somebody, which fake friends is a term that was created by narcs. They make fake friends with somebody, then they all of a sudden switch up, decide that they're enemies of that person. And the next thing you know, they're, speaking poorly about that person publicly. They're trying to make that person look bad. This is literally what narcissistic people do. Literally what they do, right? For me, when I come into a person's life, there is never a moment, never, and this is normal. This is to me what's normal. There's never a moment where I am plotting against that person for any reason. It's never a moment of that. That's why I was saying narcissistic people, they're really not solid people, because what they will do is they will pretend to be there for a person, even though they may be creating the problems that the person is having. They're creating the problem so that they can rush in as a hero. It's the same thing that they're saying about what the president is doing, literally creating a crisis for America. And I haven't even gotten an update on that yet today, because I've been just like, from the time I got up yesterday, well, it's now Saturday. Um, but from the time I got up, I was dealing with the tooth. So, but that's literally what they do. And these people are sick. Narcissistic people got a sick freaking problem. They got a sick freaking problem with doing that. And I cannot be around people like that. I cannot talk. I don't want, no, no, that's not how God is manifesting for me. And that's not a healing energy, that's a tearing down. And when I was dealing with that situation and going through those cycles, there was actually this spirit, right, that would pop up, right, when I was going through these cycles of this person, like, well, this was like 6 years ago, that, when you just feel that moment where you have to be sad about nothing. There was a spirit that kept lying to me, that kept saying that this person triggering me was actually having a healing effect. So be careful with that too. When they trigger you, you know what I'm saying? But what they're doing is they're not triggering you to release your pain, because when I thought about it, I said, wait a minute, and this was years ago. When I thought about it, I said, wait a minute. I said, first of all, I haven't really been through much trauma in my life. I haven't. Like, I can honestly say that I'm not harboring or carrying any type of negative emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't been through like big trauma like that, like something that really, really traumatized me. No, I haven't. So it wasn't anything that I needed to release. I didn't need to be triggered to release anything, right? I realized that they were projecting their negativity to me. But the way they was doing it, that spirit was so slick, to where that spirit kept telling me that, oh, you need to heal from something. And so this is what you need to accept. You know what I'm saying? And even and it's real clever and cunning, because it's an anti-healing spirit, pretty much is what it is. But there were like a few minor things, well, I guess I could say at the time they were major, that I did need to work on, that things that I had never spoken about, which was years ago when I got date raped. That was one thing that I needed to work on. But the narcissistic abuse was actually stopping the healing. Like it was a delay in me actually dealing with that, because narcs was just like bombarding me with their fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, that's why I'm saying I don't like those type of people, because They are a distraction, and I believe that they do cause delays, you know what I'm saying, in your learning, in your development. Of course they cause developmental delays and learning delays and stuff. Yes, they do that. Especially if you're dealing with one of them in your personal life. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wouldn't be dealing with them. So, it was something that and I'm gonna tell you something. Some people may think that they're strong enough to deal with that situation. I'm honestly one of the strongest people that I know, but at the end of the day, it still affected me. Like I can even tell by my cycle this month, like just how my body is like trying to heal, trying to heal. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be dealing with stuff like that. Like I think that that's what causes cancer. I really honestly do. I really do. I don't think that it's the number. I don't think that it always causes cancer, but I think that that's, just that no. No, I refuse to go through it. For what? For what? And I'm definitely not going to take advice, nor am I going to go along or follow behind somebody that is obviously narcissistic, because I feel that I am more evolved than that person, and I know that I am. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, like, since I've gotten back home, I have noticed it was really weird because when I moved away from Missouri previously, it was like I felt like I needed to be able to get somewhere and think and clear my head. Well, now it's the opposite. Coming home to Missouri has been it's provided me a lot of clarity. I don't think that when I look back at moving to Georgia, like the place that I'm at right now at this moment, is that it wasn't necessarily a mistake, but it was a part of my journey. And that's where I'm going to leave it. And when you say something like that to an evil person, to a narcissistic person, guess what? They don't want you to look at it like that. They want you to take away the trauma. They don't want you transmuting nothing. For you to find the positive, and and for something that they did to actually make you stronger and wiser, that's not, they don't want you to do that. And see, that makes the difference between like somebody that's like a cult leader versus an actual spiritual teacher. Because at the end of the day, even when you look at, like, how Native American people kind of like, it's like a vision quest or a vision journey or whatever that they go on. They don't have an intention for the person to just get all messed up. Like, you're supposed to learn from that experience. That experience is supposed to make you wiser. Okay. No, when it comes to narcissistic people and sociopathic people, like, they want that situation to literally destroy you. Like they like they would rather you look at the situation as, they want you to look at the world as bad, and they want you to take yourself up out of it. That's pretty much what you're dealing with when it comes to, especially people in a group, gang stalkers that are narcissistic gang stalking. That's literally what their goal is. Their goal is to get you to, really, they want you to unalive yourself, because that's how they feel about themselves. They don't actually want to be here. Narcissistic gang stalkers don't actually want to be here. They don't. And if you're a person that has high hopes, or you have like a positive outlook on the future, they don't want you to have that positive outlook. And it is nothing wrong with having a positive outlook. Like, they literally want you. And it's like, well, there's people that can't have a negative outlook, because it is an instinct of any of most human beings. We have an instinct when it comes to our offspring, to where we want our offspring to have a future. And it was just like, it was so weird because so many people are operating in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Very strange, so I'm not gonna be sitting up here dealing with that. And what I sense, because I be sensing stuff from people, like I can hear what they're thinking, right? And what they're thinking is, I want to completely change Jamila or other people's outlook on their lives. And if it's meant for a person, like, first of all, I don't feel that it was anything wrong with me from the beginning. I know that there's a lot of people that don't agree with me practicing witchcraft. There's people that I love and care about that don't agree with me practicing. You know what I'm saying? They have their beliefs. Is that going to stop me from loving those people? No. People believe whatever they believe, but that's something that I have to tolerate, because that's family. You know what I'm saying? So that situation has to be handled according to family values, which my family values is always going to be compromise, unconditional love, and it just is what it is. Okay. But anyway, I kind of lost track of what the hell I was getting ready to say. Y'all know what I'm saying. So it doesn't mesh. Me and those people, we don't mesh. I am a very positive person. I am somebody that I am somebody that loves to bring positive things to people. But let's face it, there are some people that stay and they insist on staying in, like, just a negative cycle all day, every day, just all day, like, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. It's just constant cycles of negativity. You can't really change a person that has decided to be on that cycle. And even if you could, it would take some really a deep level of understanding when it comes, maybe Reiki, because I do know that Reiki connects people to source, right? Like this huge source of energy, you know what I'm saying? But a human being or a person cannot do that, right? You would literally kill yourself trying to help somebody like that. It would literally drain you. It would literally suck you dry trying to do that. And the way my with my spiritual beliefs, I don't believe that people have to die for other people to live. I don't believe in that. So that's the one thing I don't believe in. A lot of people, when they look at certain things like sacrifice and religion, that's kind of the way religion looks at it. Like, if you're going by the Bible, to where one or either several people have to literally die so that this one very negative person can live. And they're obviously doing negative things, and they're obviously, it's like, it's really weird. So, I'm not saying that's, but that's pretty much what I take away from the Bible. That's pretty much from what I can see, especially when it comes to Jesus, you know. And they say that Jesus died for our sins. Well, you know what? Even back then, I would have said, no, Jesus, don't do it. Don't die for these people. These people don't deserve for you to die for them. Seriously. So, and I'm speaking strictly just from, speaking. I'm speaking from a person that, is not necessarily a part of that religion. I'm not trying to judge anybody that believes in that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that's just that's terrible, and it's, to me, it's like, you don't even have to. I don't believe that people have to die. I don't believe in blood sacrifice. Let's put it like that. Okay. Let's put it like that. I do believe that it can be necessary when it comes to animal sacrifice, but as far as like human sacrifice, I don't believe in it in a sense of ritual and a way of life. I think that there are some people that automatically end up becoming martyrs or sacrifices, but I think that is more so of a choice. That, I mean, okay, so let's think about it in these terms. Let's say that it's something going on in the world, right? And let's say that it's like some kind of problem happening, and a person has to, like, one person in the family has to go out into, the wilderness to go and get, maybe medicine for the family, right? So that person is and it's dangerous out there, right? So that person is willing to sacrifice themselves for their people, right? Like, it's dangerous out there, but they're going to do it anyway. But what good is sacrifice when that person dies and doesn't, and is not actually able to make it back with the medicine? You see what I'm saying? So you send out one person. This person is willing to risk themselves for the family to go and get the medicine that they need for the family, for somebody that might be sick in the family, and it's just all like, a bunch of chaos. And but they're gonna go and they're gonna get the medicine needed for the family, right? But what good does it do if they die on the way or on the way back there? Then they're not going to be able to bring the medicine back to the family. So so dying is, and sacrifice shouldn't be like the center stone of everything. You know what I'm saying? Because how is that person even going to help? And then, by the way, I do believe in natural disasters. Of course, we can't help but know that. But I think that a lot of this stuff is a lot of the things that are happening that we go through as a human, right? Just as a human race, right? We are creating those problems for ourselves. It's weird. So it's almost like people are obsessed with it, like being in this simulation, kind of like if you look at movies, like it that's a movie. We're not in a movie though. We're living real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's really weird the way people are. And I'm for me, I'm staying close to God with that situation, because I am not going to be dealing with people that love to create problems every single day. There's some people that love to just cause problems every single day. Y'all notice they're just problematic every day. Not, and I'm not talking about deal with problems. You know what I'm saying? If something is an issue, okay, deal with it. No, I'm talking about this person wants to create the problem every single day. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between creating a crisis versus an issue already being there that you are like dealing with, that you're finding a solution for the problem. Okay. So anyway, I'm rambling and I'm gonna go, y'all. I'm gonna get some sleep. I think I'm gonna have me another I think I think I am gonna have late night iced coffee, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. But even though I definitely could just go up here and just lay down and probably go back to sleep. I could literally just go back to sleep because I just, I feel so relieved now that I got that tooth out of my mouth. That tooth was so, it, it was literally like, I didn't get a picture of the x-rays. I should have took a picture of the x-rays so I could show them to y'all how that tooth was doing. It was literally like, it was bad. It was pretty bad. It was. Anywho, and if y'all need a tooth, so I actually know somebody that is afraid to get a tooth extraction, even though it would make their life better. It would probably be better for their health, and it would probably, because that can actually be dangerous just to have this tooth rotting in your mouth or whatever. Getting a tooth pulled is really not that bad. It really is not, because they numb you. They numb the mess out of you. Like you're very numb. You don't even feel it. So if you need to go get a tooth extracted, go get that thing taken out. I know somebody right now that's scared to do it. It's like, if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I can really be a nervous ninny. I really can. It is really lightning outside, y'all. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all later. Okay.